Hey guys, I have a match here with Copyharpuia from YouTube. I don't know really how that's pronounced. Sorry, I probably butchered that name, but oh well. So yeah, he goes into Celebi as a lead. I lead with my Tyranitar. This is my Dragon Dance Tyranitar, and he's gonna get me with a trick right off the bat, which kind of blows. And unfortunately, I go for the taunt because I don't want this thing to do anything gay. But he tricks me a Choice Scarf, so now I'm locked into taunt, and that's really not too good. So I decided to go out into Scizor, kind of expecting a Leaf Storm or another Grass-type move, but instead he just U-turns, and that's pretty nice too, but now he's probably going to send out a counter for Scizor, and he goes out into a Heatran, which is definitely a counter for Scizor. So I really don't want to take, a Fire-type move, so I go back into my Tyranitar, but he ends up switching too, and he goes back into Celebi. And yeah, at this point I would really like to taunt, but I'm kind of afraid to lock myself into it again, not to mention, I know he's probably going to set up Stealth Rock, and I just don't want to get, risk getting hit with a Grass-type move. But I just go for the Stone Edge, and it doesn't even do half, which kind of makes me sad. He does set up the Stealth Rocks, which kind of hurts, and I'm just going to go for the second Stone Edge, because I just want to get as much damage on this Celebi as I possibly can, and he's just going to go for the Leech Seed. So he actually, this is actually pretty good for me, because I know his entire moveset now. I know he doesn't have Leaf Storm, I know he doesn't have Grass Knot, I know he doesn't have Hidden Power Fire, so I actually feel kind of better about this thing than I did before. But now I do have to switch, because I'm pretty sure he's going to switch into something that can take a Stone Edge. So I go out into Scizor, he goes out into his Golem, and that's pretty cool for, both of us. Actually pretty cool for me, because Scizor, counters Golem pretty nicely. So I go for the Brick Break because I'm kind of hoping that he'd go into Heatran, but he doesn't. He goes for the Stone Edge, but he misses. He said he went for the Stone Edge, predicting that I'd go into a Flyer, but I didn't, so it sucks for him. So I'm going to go for the Bullet Punch, hoping to finish him off. Keyword hoping, but he survives. He said he survived with 5 hit points, which really sucks, because now he's going to get an Earthquake off on me, and it's going to hit me down to about half. And he dies to the Life Orb Recoil, and that's kind of whatever. Anyway, so I'm at like half health. He goes into Mega Man, his Feraligatr, and I'm pretty sure he's going to try to set up this turn, so I decided just to go for the Brick Break just to get damage on it and some leftovers recovery, and it ends up actually turning out pretty nicely later in the match. This leftovers recovery actually kind of helped. So yeah, I go for, and now I have to switch, and I go out into Gyarados to get the Intimidate, and I thought he'd Aqua Jet, so that's why I went into Gyarados. And he ends up Waterfalling, which is a little better for him, because Waterfall is a lot more powerful than Aqua Jet, and that's going to hurt Gyarados a lot. But I do have a hit on this Feraligatr, and I'm just going to go for the Stone Edge to hit it. Now, as you can see, his Feraligatr doesn't have leftovers and doesn't have Life Orb, so I really don't know what the heck this thing is carrying. Any guesses would be cool, but I don't really know. I was kind of, when I didn't see the leftovers, I really was hoping and thought he had Life Orb, which means that this thing wouldn't be as too much of a pain because of Life Orb and Sandstorm racking up after a while. But anyway, I do go into Hitmonlee now. I go for the Mach Punch. This is a Life Orb Hitmonlee Adamant Max Attack, so I'm pretty sure I could kill it. I end up getting a crit. Don't know if it mattered. I don't think so. So he goes into Scizor, and I just don't know what to do. I decide just to stay in, get as much damage on it as possible, and he's going to predict a switch and U-turn. But Close Combat nearly kills it, and that's pretty nice for me. Even though Hitmonlee is going to die to the U-turn, I'm just glad he didn't go for the Bullet Punch there, because that would have been a dead Hitmonlee for no good reason. But now I hit his Scizor down to a point that basically anything can kill it at this point. So now he goes into Celebi. I'm going to go out into Mismagius, and I set up a sub knowing that all he has is he can either Leech Seed me or U-turn, both of which won't break a sub, and he's going to U-turn. I don't know his last guy, but I'm hoping it's not something that can counter Mismagius, but unfortunately it is. It's like a Lantern, and I hate Lanterns because they're always just so annoying, these Lantern things, and they're special walls, and they're just really annoying. And they counter Mismagius quite nicely, so I'm just going to set up a Calm Mind, hoping that maybe after a Calm Mind I'll be able to live a Surf. My substitute will be able to, but of course it's probably not going to happen. He breaks that sub. I'm hoping that he won't break a fresh sub, so I decide just to set up another one, but he ends up breaking it, which makes me unhappy. So I go for the sub here, and he breaks it with Surf, which hurts, and that's just kind of, annoys me. And now I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball to get as much damage on possible. I'm hoping that at this much health I'll be able to live either a Surf or whatever he decides to do. So I decided just to go for the Shadow Ball here. He ends up going for the Discharge, and I was thinking that I'd be able to live a discharge after a Calm Mind at this point, but he gets a crit, and I'm pretty sure that mattered, but I don't know. But he gets a crit, and that kind of sucks, because that takes down Mismagius, and I would have really, really liked to get another Shadow Ball off on that, Lanturn, because now at this health, it's still going to be a pain. So I go out into my Scizor, and I'm just going to Roost, hoping that I can live a Surf, and I am able to. And I think it was because of that Leftovers recovery. We'll have to see how much Leftovers recovers for me, because if it's more than... If it's if it's less than 16, then it does more than 16. Then it does help. Yeah, it did, because if I wouldn't have stayed in against that Feraligatr and gotten an extra Leftovers recovery, I would have died of that Surf. So, because of my Scizor's awesome EVs, like this is a pretty awesome bulky Scizor. I mean, it has special defense and HP EVs, and it's made specifically to set up on special tanks like Lanturn. But this is a Parafusion one, and he ends up getting a Paralyze on the discharge, which really made me unhappy. I just was not happy about that at all. Yeah, that was just gay, because now I'm Parafusioned, and when you're Parafusioned, it sucks, because you have like a 25% chance to hit. I end up hitting there and roosting, which is pretty nice, and now I'm thinking, you know what, the confusion has to wear off eventually, right? Didn't wear off that turn, just really blows, and now I just have to hope that I'll be able to hit this turn, because I want to roost again. And I just don't want Scizor to die to this Lanturn, because that would suck, because Scizor is one of my only hopes to win this match, because if I can set up this Scizor, I should be pretty okay. Like, I know he has Heat Ran, but if I can, kill this Lanturn at least with Scizor, I'll be in pretty good shape. But the confusion does wear off, and now I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to set it up again, so it's kind of pointless to keep Scizor in. I'm going to go out on a Tyranitar, because I know Tyranitar can live 2 Surfs after the Sandstorm special defense boost, and that'll give me 2 chances to hit through confusion and kill it with Earthquake. And I'm hoping that's what he does. He stays in and lets me Earthquake him. So the first turn, I do hurt myself in my confusion, and that sucks, because now if I hurt myself in my confusion a second turn in a row, he's going to kill me, and my chances of winning this match are severely lower. But if I do manage to get this Earthquake off, I'll be in good shape, because this Lanturn will die, and this Lanturn is just a big pain in my butt right now. So I go for the Earthquake, and I do go through the confusion. I end up snapping out of it, and that's pretty nice, because I went into Tyranitar basically because I knew I had about a 75% chance to hit 1 turn with Earthquake, and I end up doing it, which is nice. The Lanturn is gone, and that makes me happy. He goes out into Celebi. I just Earthquake. I know it's not going to do anything, but I don't really have anything better to do, honestly. And yeah, he just goes for the U-turn and finishes me off. And he goes out into Heat Ran, I guess expecting my Scizor, but he doesn't know my last guy, and my last guy is Rhyperior. And at this point I realize, crap, this is the wrong Rhyperior again. I always bring the wrong Rhyperior. This is supposed to be my Rock Polish one. This is the one that's meant to be used with Baton Pass. I really, really need a check before I use it. Before I, put Pokemon in my team, if it's the right one or not. But it ends up not really mattering in this battle, because, he has a Heat Ran, so I'm just going to Earthquake it, obviously, and his last Pokemon are Celebi and Scizor, and this Rhyperior happens to be a little more bulky than my, Rock Polish one, so it ends up actually working out. I don't think it would have mattered. I think my Rock Polish one would have done the trick anyway, but still, I'm able to get a sweep with this Rhyperior, which is just as good because I still win, but man. An open challenge day, guys, I would appreciate it if any of you, just when you're talking, I'm about to begin a match, and just shout out on the chat room, hey, TheKillerNacho, if you're using your Rhyperior, make sure it's the right one, because 9 times out of 10 I bring the wrong one, and it nearly cost me here. Well, not really. I would have won either way, but still, just do it, and I appreciate it, okay? I won't mind at all. So anyway, rate, comment, subscribe, guys.